ladies and gentlemen. If you could just come a little closer, we can get you all gathered in. We can start tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We have a lot of work to do, and we can't do any work without you. So we thank you all so much for being here, joining us tonight. And I am Dawn Casterman. I've co-chaired this event for 6 years. And tonight, I have the honor of welcoming our new co-chair, David Zivin. He is the editor-in-chief of CS Magazine, so please join me in welcoming David Zivin.
Thank you. I'm the rookie co-chair, so if anything goes awry, it's my fault. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out tonight and braving the rain. The Kid Best Friend Award Night honors great advocates for children's safety and is our premier fundraising event of the year. I'd like to take a moment first and introduce my fellow board members who are here tonight. Please wave. I can't see you on the lights, but please wave when I call your name. Amy Hill, are you here? Amy Hogan, where are you? Sean Kasserman, our fearless president. Heather Mason, Susan Need, Marisol Pantoja, Karen Quinlan, Aisha Rafiq, did I mess it up? And Shanaz Shafoudin. Thank you very much to all my fellow board members.
We want to thank all of our chefs tonight. And I don't know if I've ever really properly conveyed this, but they come here year after year and not only donate their time, but they donate all of the food. So I hope you all appreciate it. I know I do. The food's amazing. So we have Boca Restaurant Group, Hampton Social, Bub City, Mona B. Gabi, Cafe Babariba, Summer House Santa Monica, Gina and Giorgetti's, the Greater Chicago Food Depository, Cake, Spin Spun, and we also have amazing beer from Revolution Brewery. So thank them.
Thank you. We have something new this year we're trying. I hope that you can give it a shot. You can support KID with our text to donate feature. The instructions should be up on the slideshow throughout the course of the evening. You simply text BFA, that stands for Best Friend Award, to 50155 to donate. It's very simple, and you'll see information throughout the evening. It's an honor for me to get to introduce our amazing MC for this evening. She's a consumer reporter from NBC Chicago. She's a former Best Friend Award winner herself. She has been a stalwart friend of Kids in Danger. Such a pleasure. Please welcome Lisa Parker.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I am a former best friend, an FBF, like a BFF. And last year, we had blown up pictures of all the best friends through the years down the hallway. My producer and I today were trying to remember what year that was. I think it was 2002. All I know is it was 3 kids and 42 hair colors ago for sure. So I want to thank the organizers for not hanging up those photos again tonight. Yay! So this is the part of the evening where I give you a little bit of a roadmap about what's going on in the room. Then we're going to take another break so you can go visit your favorite bartender, and then we'll be back for the main portion of the evening. So just the roadmap of what's going on here. Some of you have already found the photo booth. There is Spin Spun's cotton candy machine. There's beer tasting. There's Irish dog Bloody Marys. Okay, so where's Hannah? There's a wine toss. We have our special, many years running wine toss expert over there. And if you don't have good aim, she's very kind. That's why I go home every year with my Hannah gifts. There are 5 amazing raffle packages for anyone and everyone. Okay, so to see those packages and to purchase a ticket, look for a kid volunteer wearing a lei. Kid volunteers are all around. And that's where you buy your tickets to put in the baskets. Okay, so this is the best live auction yet. And here's what you've got. A Chicago sports package with signed Blackhawks stick and puck, White Sox, Southside tickets, Wolves tickets, and Cubs tickets. A remarkable private dinner catered by Food for Thought. A 2-night getaway that's at any Marriott Bonvoy property. An opportunity to join a fantastic restaurant critic on a visit to a happening Chicago dining spot. You have, note the green pen in my hand, you can win a 1-hour crash course leadership workshop by our very own Linda Ginzel, University of Chicago professor, author, founder of KID. And you too will get your own green pen. And last but not least, a great package for 4 to Chicago's Lake Shake Festival with grandstand seats and access to the VIP lounge. You hear my twang? I did that for you. I did that just for you. Lake Shake. As a special surprise auction package, is this true? Are we auctioning off a Tomer Kazar photograph? Is that right? Or is this isn't hashtag fake news? This is where you can confirm this? All right, guys. Get your checkbooks ready. Check out the auction pages in your program book, and that you can see all the packages there. Okay, so enjoy yourselves. Another glass of wine. Beck's your favorite bartender, and around 7:20, we'll be back. Well, you'll know. You'll hear us. We'll be back in about 15. We just have the portion of our ceremony that this party is named after. So we're bringing you a former best friend and another best friend and a new best friend. So everyone, my day job at NBC5, I am the consumer investigative reporter, and so many years at this event, it's super easy for me to write, what's the hardest part of a script is your first line, right? Or your story or your paper. It's always easy for me to write my intro at this event because I can harken back to a number of stories that I've done over the year with kids in danger. And sometimes those stories that NBC5 airs are only because of kids in danger. But this year, I have a more personal touchstone that I want to start with, and it's kind of new, so bear with me. So on February 19th of this year, my dear work friend and partner, the photographer for NBC5 Responds, Ronnie is his name. He went in, as he does every morning, he went into his son's crib to wake him up, and his 20-month-old Luke had died in his sleep. There was no diagnosis, no autopsy revealed any evident cause of Luke's death. And in the agonizing days and weeks that came, finally a diagnosis, which was a term that none of us had heard, and we cover kids' safety issues. Luke died from sudden, unexplained death in childhood, SUDC. And so suddenly, my work partner and the person for whom the hardest part of our jobs, and we talked about this every time we did it, the hardest part of our jobs was driving to and driving from an interview with a grieving parent. And suddenly, my work partner, just a couple months ago, he was that person. And so, as you might imagine, there's a moment when parents have to decide if the grief will bury them. And we would all understand if it did. But the other option is to take a page out of what I call Linda and Boaz's book. To say we have to do something more. To say we have to speak out, and it's a Herculean task in the face of grief. to be sure. But it's one that I know is possible, and it's one that Ronnie knew was possible only because of Kids in Danger. Not just that you could speak up, but that you can make a huge difference if you somehow found the strength to dig deep and do it. So Ronnie and his wife are now starting a charity in Luke's name to raise awareness for SUDC. They're very early in their journey. But the thing that I hear from them over and over is something that I think will resonate with all of you tonight. And that is when you hear a parent who has been there say, we have to do more and we can do better. It's a path lit up by Kids in Danger for 21 years now. 21 years strong, and it was a path lit by Danny Kazar. But now, since then, illuminated by so many courageous families. And so that is a perfect segue for me. And you know, news people, we love our segues. You know, speaking of fires, it sure is hot today. You know, we have the cheesy segues down. So it's a perfect segue for me to bring up our next speaker, Sean Kasserman, who's the board president. And Sean is the guy that I met in this very paradigm that I just talked about. The first time I met Sean, I was that reporter on the phone asking Sean if I could talk to his clients who he represented and who, thankfully, were brave enough to speak out as well. Sean Kasserman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Lisa. You know, we all have grown to know and love Lisa Parker. She is the best consumer investigative reporter, not just in the city of Chicago or the state of Illinois, but in the United States of America. And even more special than that talent is what's in her heart, which we all just got to see. So thank you, Lisa. Very quickly, I want to thank two people who are so important to making tonight happen. Nancy Cowles and Dave Gouda have put all of this together while they're out protecting all of our children. So let's take a minute and thank them. Nancy and Dave, can you give everybody a wave? I love Nancy Cowles. No competition, Joe, you got her. There's two other people that I want to mention tonight. Dylan Hitt and Jonathan Wichard were students at Virginia Tech. They developed a Google Chrome extension which allows all of us to download onto our computer, and when we Google a product, this device lists all of the dangerous products that might be related to it. It's absolutely brilliant. It allows consumers, it allows all of us to see products that either have been, should be, might be recalled. And what these two young men did is, out of their own time and out of their own generosity, put together this device, which all of you, each and every one of you, should download onto your Google Chrome browser, and you will have access to all of the information that will help keep your children and your grandchildren safe. So if I could have Dylan Hitt and Jonathan Wichard come on up. On the back of your programs is a little bit a blurb about this, but it's called Recall It, and each and every one of you have to look into it and download it. Now, I was given these cute little certificates to give to you guys. But I'm not really a certificate guy. I just put these in my closet when I go home. What I want to do is hug you both, because what you did is so important. These gentlemen don't know it, but what they've done over the last year or 18 months will save lives. So you're a hero to all of us, each and both of you guys, and we want to thank you. Linda Ginzel has had to speak at this event for 20 years. I told her today I just want to call her up onto the stage. Come up here, Linda. You don't even have to say anything. Just come stand with me. I feel naked without you.
No.
20 plus years of protecting your children, my children, her children, all of our children. And it just, to me, and I'm not going to ask her to speak, but it didn't seem right standing up here without Linda Ginzel being here with us. So please give her the welcoming applause that she deserves. On June 10th, 2018, 3-year-old Levi Hughes slipped away from his parents for a moment. He drowned in an outdoor pool in just seconds. That same day, 19-month-old Emmy Miller walked through the back door at a family friend's house and fell into a pool and drowned in less than a minute. I'm going to let this video tell you a little bit more about that day and why we're here tonight.
If your child's ever gotten away from you long enough to color on the wall, they've gotten away from you long enough to drown. And I wouldn't say someone whose child colored on the wall was a neglectful parent.
I'm Nicole Hughes, and our 3-year-old son drowned this past June.
I'm Bode Miller. My daughter, Emmeline Miller, drowned this past June.
He was such a boy, everything about him. We, at this point, had 3 kids, and so we were like, oh, you can just play with whatever we have. And so, but he would somehow take the fairy wands and turn them into swords.
He loved to play, romp, he was very physical.
His little giggle, and and how proud he was just of being part of our family, and how much he loved his sisters.
Quite a spitfire. Right from when she was born, she was really early walking, early crawling, super tough, and pretty fearless, always chasing them around. Had that really outgoing, kind of courageous, brave, big personality.
Sometimes I do find some comfort in just how special this last day was for him. And he swam in the pool, and later that night we were just waiting for it to get dark. We had finished eating dinner, and I saw these brownies. They were small. I broke one in half. I put one in his bowl, kind of ruffled his hair, and there's so much comfort to me that my final interaction with him was so genuine, and just this moment, between a mom and her son. Ruffled his hair, gave him the brownie, put the other part of the brownie in my mouth, and truly turned around. Didn't even know he was missing. Walked out, looked over the balcony, and Levi was at the bottom. And because we didn't even know he was missing, my first thought genuinely was just confusion. They tried to bring Levi back, and he did regain a pulse, but we lost him just a few hours later. So
The day that Emmy died was no different than any other day. We swam in the morning as a family and had a great time. We went to a birthday party, visited friends, and then I took my older daughter to softball. And, with our family, it's always kind of divide and conquer, and there was no reason to think that anything would have been any different. It was just a totally normal day until I got the phone call. I left and I gave her a kiss goodbye, and And that was that. And it just, it's an unbelievably tough thing to have to process as a parent, that there is no redo, there's no going back, there's no way to change anything that happened. And ultimately that's what sort of gives you the sense of obligation to try to prevent it from happening to other people. Drowning is the #1 cause of death from 1 to 4 years old.
If you can remove the stigma and the finger pointing and the blame, you can get to the real problem, which is risk management, and working as a community, in your community, to make sure that parents don't have to go through what we did.
Right. So now I believe more than ever that it was parents who lost a child to a tragedy, and that they climbed out of their own grief pits and fought for change that affected our children, and we just probably don't even realize it.
It's 100% preventable. The stakes and behavioral changes.
Just a true cultural shift in how we view water, but the prevention is really the key. But I think when you look at like the history, and you got 20 years with KID, what they've done and what they've managed to do, to sort of be acknowledged by an organization that done so much good for other families, through advocating.
Dedicated teams, organizations to certain causes, and I don't think anyone could disagree. There's no greater cause than keeping children safe. Imagine there's anyone that wouldn't want to be a part of such an organization.
When tragedy strikes and you lose a child, it would be okay to just retreat. It would be okay to just go home and take care of your family. But some people don't. In honor of their children, the Hughes and the Miller families have devoted their lives to educating the public about the dangers of water safety. They've created and are sharing life-saving tips, life-saving resources to prevent all of us from having to experience what we just saw. This year, Kids in Danger is honored to present the Kids Best Friend Award to 4 parents: Nicole and Jonathan Hughes, and Morgan and Bode Miller. It's been less than a year since we lost their children. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released, as a result of the work they've done, new guidance. These are pediatricians across the country helping get information out to parents. Good parents, unsuspecting parents. But because of the work that these 2 families have done, in spite of the greatest loss we can experience, lives will be saved. The name tags that we are all wearing tonight are part of the program that's being put into place. It identifies the person or the people that will be responsible. There are changes that can and have to be made so that these tragedies don't have to happen. Tonight, and I just met her a little while ago, is a brave, brave woman who's here to accept these awards on behalf of both families. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicole Hughes, Levi's mom.
Thank you. It's no matter how many times I see Emmy and Levi together on the screen, every time It's hard. It's hard to see, but it also reminds me how grateful I am for the friendship with the Millers and just that we have been on this shared journey that we wish we weren't on. And thank you for the welcome and for this honor. I'm really grateful to be here. And, 20 years, I mean, I'm barely 10 months in and I'm tired, I think that's truly incredible. And I feel so honored to be part of something that, to have had the chance to talk to you. So it's been less than 1 year since we lost Levi, and somehow it feels like it's been an eternity, but also, just a split second. And, we've survived Christmas, his first birthday. He was supposed to start preschool in the class right next to my kindergarten daughter. And I don't know, I keep thinking, how have we survived all of this? How do I continue? How does the rest of our life go on? And I really don't know the answers, but I know that I'm still standing here, and I'm at an event that with parents who lost a child, over 20 years ago, and I think that I guess you just don't have a choice. You just have to keep going on, and I do believe that my own children have benefited directly, probably from things that kid has done, that I just wasn't aware of. So I really am truly grateful. But drowning, it only happens to neglectful parents who don't watch their kids when they're swimming. And it takes time, and there's all this splashing and yelling, and it only happens to kids, that you read about in the news, and not real kids. And that's what I always thought. And if you'd given me 1,000 reasons why one of my kids would die, drowning would have been the 1,000th thing that I would have picked. I watch them when they're swimming. My kids aren't going to drown. Real kids don't drown. This is what I always thought. And the problem is that the stigma around drowning is the greatest threat to drowning prevention efforts. It is so easy to find the loophole rather than saying, well, this could be me, or this could be my grandchild, or this could be my niece or nephew. And, I have 16 pictures of Levi from his final day of life, and they're all timestamped, June 10th, 10:30, 11, 2, 3:45. And every single one, in 14 of the 16, he is wearing a life jacket or a puddle jumper. He's flying a kite with his dad, he's wearing a life jacket. He's in the pool with his big sister, he's wearing a puddle jumper. He's sitting in a chair eating M&Ms, life jacket. And we thought we were taking water safety seriously. We truly thought we were doing everything right. And he slipped out of a room. We traveled with my husband's an anesthesiologist, and we have traveled for the past 12 years with the same group of 7. There are 6 families, and this was our 7th year in the same house. And every single year it was, the same, like how we would get there on the first day on the Saturdays. This Sunday, June 10th, was our first full day, and it was really a wonderful day. He had it was a really special last day, honestly. Of course, I didn't know that we were just marching to the end. I had no idea what was coming. But that night, the dads always took the kids crab hunting. And so I put Levi's this bright yellow shirt on him. They were custom-made bright yellow shirts. And I put it on him. He'd had a bath. We were finished swimming for the day. And he said, "Mom, this isn't my pajama shirt. It's my crab hunting shirt." And he was so excited to finally be one of the big kids, and brought him into the room. There were 10 adults in the room and 15 kids. We'd finished eating dinner, and I split this small brownie with him and ruffled his hair, and my husband had just flipped him upside down and said, "How many crabs are we going to catch?" And Levi said, "So many, Dad." And there is a lot of comfort in that. Our final interactions with our son were really special moments. But somehow I gave him the brownie. I was not on my phone. It wasn't even on that side of the house. I wasn't drinking. I don't know how he got out the door and none of us saw him. But as I said, I didn't even know he was missing. And I glanced over the balcony and saw just this bright spot of yellow and knew immediately, of course, that it was Levi. And my first thought was, but he's wearing khaki shorts. We weren't even swimming. I couldn't understand, he's sitting on the couch. And then, of course, I panicked and ran screaming down the stairs. And and jumped into the pool and grabbed him. And by the time I got him out, there were 6 physicians there, and including my husband, and they were by the side of the pool. And as horrible as it was for me to find him in the water, my husband didn't know who it was until he flipped him over. And I said, well, what did you do? And he said, I started performing CPR. I mean, and he did until someone, threw him out of the way. And then, of course, we both fell to our knees, just desperate to trade places with this little boy that had so much life to live, and we had somehow failed to protect. And exactly, we had to leave the beach without him, had to ride home with an empty car seat. We went through Chick-fil-A that first day. I automatically got 3 kids' meals and a chocolate milk, and I thought, what do I do with this? And exactly 1 week after losing him, it was exactly 1 week to the day, my husband found the statistics on the CDC website. Number 1 cause of death, number 2 for ages 5 to 19. And the real kicker, I just felt like my heart was already broken and just shattered all over again, was that 69% of toddlers who drown do so when they're not expected to be swimming. And they slip out, just like Levi, just like Emmy. And I was furious, not at anybody or at anything. I just thought we have outlet plugs in all of our outlets. We have the most expensive, best car seats. We are very careful about everything that we do with parenting, and how had this information been compiled? And it had just never reached us. And I knew at that moment, I was like mama bear. I was on a hunt to find my child's killer. That is what I felt like. And honestly, it hasn't stopped. And, within 3 weeks, I had created Levi's Legacy, and with an emphasis on designated supervision, which I do truly believe, and I know that would have saved Levi when we were sitting on the couch, I said to my husband, hey, you're still watching him. Here's your tag. Don't forget, we're still watching. But we thought, oh, he's on the couch. We weren't not watching him, but he was on the couch surrounded by friends. I turned to close a bag of Cheetos. And I do really believe that designated supervision would have mattered, but I kept thinking, I know it would have saved him. But at the beginning of July, it hadn't even been a month, and I kept thinking, what is the real problem? Why did I not know? Why, when we were at the beach with friends from 6 different states, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, these are all states with water, why did none of us know when I was standing on a balcony overlooking 2 pools and an ocean and turned around screaming, banging on the glass, did every single person later tell me, we thought someone had fallen down the stairs? And these are airway experts. They're cardiothoracic anesthesiologists and moms, each of us on our 3rd kid. And none of us, it was such an afterthought that kids would drown, but we weren't even swimming. And so I knew that there had to be, there was something more, and how do I reach parents? And I was standing in my kitchen, and I thought, it's a lack of awareness. That's the problem. I need to call my pediatrician. And then truly, I thought, what is that going to do for somebody in Illinois or in California? That's not going to fix anything. And so I knew immediately. I thought, oh, it's the American Academy of Pediatrics. And I went to their website in July of 2018, and there were 2 articles on drowning, one from 2004 and one from 2017. There were 0 social media posts about drowning, and there was not a national campaign. And I do not say this we love and respect our own pediatricians so much. It had never been discussed at well child visits, and I knew that if it wasn't being discussed at well child visits, and our pediatrician is truly the best of the best, then there was a bigger problem. And with my husband being an anesthesiologist, I thought, well, he can't test his own drugs or write his own policies. He depends on the national to really set the priorities for the local. And so truly I thought, I need to talk to my pediatrician about this. No, it needs to be the AAP. And I walked out and told my husband, I said, so I think I need to reach the American Academy of Pediatrics. I think that's the answer. And he replied, he's very pragmatic, he's very protective. Damn it. No, Nicole, you can't. And I was like, no, I have a plan. It's going to work. It's going to be good. And he was worried that I was going to put this out there that everyone was going to think I was just trying to, place blame somewhere else. And we believe in the power of the medical community. I mean, that is why I believed in it. I thought this really is the answer. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go back inside. And he said, you're gonna do it, right? I said, oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't asking you, but thanks. And so, and again, we believe in the power of physicians and the platform that they have. And I just thought, there's so much hope here. There's so much they could do to really fix this. And so I knew I sort of needed like a public plea, maybe, that, so that there could be some push behind it. So I Googled mom blog with the most followers, which was Scary Mommy. And I just Googled them. And then I emailed and I said, if I write this article, will you publish it? And this was in July. And they said, yes, of course we will. And we would be honored. And this was about an hour after I emailed them, and I thought, oh no, I'm already so tired. I have to do that now? Okay, so I can do this. So I did write this, and I really poured my heart into it, because the whole time I was writing it, I kept thinking, there is a killer on the loose. There is a killer on the loose, and I have to stop it. I have to stop it and protect these other kids. And I was terrified. That the inevitable accusations of neglect that were going to come. And as a parent who's lost a child, it's not that I care what anybody thinks about me. I don't know. I have bigger things weighing on me than that. But the implication that Levi was so unloved that we just didn't protect him is really where the dagger of neglect strikes the hearts of parents. I was terrified about embarrassing myself, reaching out to this national organization. And what if they said no? My biggest worry, though, of all was, what if I did it and poured my heart into this and it didn't work? If I really did my best and I just had to sit back with my arms overflowing with all these statistics and all this knowledge and just had to watch as babies were taken every day. I needed this to work, the greatest risk I've ever taken. And I never imagined the path it would take, but it definitely was worth the risk. And I have to say that partnering with the American Academy of Pediatrics, this is the part that always makes me cry. I mean, they have been so kind and truly are just passionate advocates for children. I mean, really, this is why people go into pediatrics. And to have had this chance to work with them over the past few months has just been beyond anything I could have ever imagined, and I'm very grateful. And I could never imagine sort of how we would get there. But the Millers, 2 weeks after Levi died, a friend of a friend connected us, and because Emmy, drowned the same day, looking back, I think, how would an Olympian and a professional athlete in California be connected with a teacher and a physician from East Tennessee? It really should never have happened, but we did. We were connected, and because I think our babies died the same day, I didn't know anything about their story, because I was writing a eulogy that week. I didn't even watch the news. So by the time we were connected, all I knew is that they were grieving parents, the same. And we talked about, for the first 2 weeks, we talked every day about, are you packing her room up? What are you doing? How are your other kids doing? How's your husband? And by the time, and after I wrote this article to the American Academy of Pediatrics, and I just shared it with Morgan. I was like, oh, this is this thing I've been working on, and it really resonated with them, because basically the article says, why do we not talk about drowning? Why is it such an afterthought in our society? We talk about screen time and organic milk and all of these things, it really resonated, and they shared it on their social media, and it has been a little bit of a whirlwind ever since. I'm not sure how news stations can find a phone number. She tagged me on social media, and I had probably 300 news people texting me immediately. It was a lot. But the Millers are truly, they are incredible. I wish they could be here, because they are genuine. I thought I was a pretty good mom, but they are the most hands-on parents I've ever seen. Truly. I've been to their house in California several times, and we've traveled together, and they bring their kids everywhere, and they are patient and fun and kind. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that about them, because they see the talents and the medals and the fame, but there's so much more to them beyond that. And their friendship, I don't know how I would have made it without them. The first time I met them, I just think, some of the little stories are funny. Back in July, we were standing in their kitchen, and one of their sons walked up to him, and you can see like Bode's medals, in their house and kind of in the office. And one of their sons walks up to Bode, past a garbage can, and he's holding like a half-chewed piece of gum, and he said, "Dad, here." And Bode said, "Well, throw it in the garbage." And then, of course, his son was like, "No, here," and handed it to him. And I thought, oh, even Olympians, okay, all right. This is just all this. We're all parenting the same way, I guess. But that really is how they are. And I hate that this is my story. Hate that it's Levi's story. Hate that it's Emmy's story. Hate that drowning happens to nearly 1,000 kids every single year. And I can't. 1,000. And I can't change the past, but I do have these moments of hope, like right now, where I think, well, maybe we can change the future. My husband said one time, drowning doesn't happen to the parents. It happens to the child. And, we will live with this heartache and regret, for the rest of our lives, but it isn't even about us. It's about the children who die every year. And when I think about Levi's final seconds in the water, that's the hardest, because I never knew 3 little words could cause so much pain. But was he scared? Was he wondering where I was? I'm sure he was. And that is when you lose a child to something, I think, especially preventable. That is so painful. We did fail to keep him safe. We did. There's no way around it. We know we weren't neglectful. The reality is, if we had thought we were being neglectful, I think we would have killed ourselves. This is just the reality. This is how I know we truly believe we weren't being neglectful, but we did not keep him safe. We had never heard of the layers of protection. And I'm so determined to make sure other people do know about four-sided fencing, wearing a life jacket in natural water, designate a water guardian, enroll your child in survival swim. My own life and my children's lives, as I said in the video, have been benefited immeasurably from children who have gone before me. And I think I took it for granted, honestly. I never really thought about it. But now I know that my kids do have safer car seats, safer toys, safer cribs, safer vaccines, all because of other parents who came before us. And I really am grateful to those parents who paid the ultimate price. We are all connected in this shared human experience. This is the whole point, is to be together and to come together for something to try to make our lives all better. And I can't bring Levi back, and no amount of advocating or sharing the story will bring him back. It won't give him a childhood that I wish that he deserved to have. But I do think that we can fix this and stop this epidemic and fix this for other kids and for other families. So thank you so much. I didn't mean to talk so long, but thank you for listening and for being willing to hear this message. I think it's a hard message to hear, because we don't want to think it could be us or be our families, but I thought that too. So it really can be. So, but thank you very much, and for the honor. I appreciate it. Where did they go? Okay, thank you. Also, I am obviously pregnant, which was hard to talk, which is why I couldn't face this way, because my stomach kept hitting this. So, and it is, so anyway, thank you.
On behalf of all of us in this room, and especially Kids in Danger, I want to present this to you and thank you for the courage and love that you've shown all of us tonight.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You are something special.
Well, I appreciate it.
Gosh. It's a tough night. It's a night that gives you hope and strength, too. It's a tough night. Again, I'm David Zivin. I'm one of the co-chairs. My co-chair came up to help me just stand here. I've got a speech and I can't do it, but I want to say three things. When I joined the board 2 years ago, I had some long conversations with Nancy Cowles, and we were talking about the landscape of product safety, and it makes your blood boil when you hear how little care sometimes goes into things, whether it be water safety, product safety, portable cribs, rockers. And Nancy said, yeah, if everybody knew, everyone would be on board. Second thing, in one of my first board meetings, Sean remarked that we don't know how many kids we've saved. And that really struck me and has stuck with me for a couple of years, because it's the dresser that never got in the house. It's the recalled product that never got passed down. So we don't know. We don't know what we've done, and yet we must try. That's the lesson of the Best Friend Award. It's why we're here tonight. Nicole and her family and the Miller family are doing something. Linda and Boaz are doing something. They're looking to the future in the face of immediate tragedy. I can't get my head around it. I joined the board trying to do something. And what I'm here to do, and I appreciate the strength, because I'm going to ask you for money now. I'm not inclined to do it, but it's a paddle raise, and I'm honored to give it a try. You have a number on your program. We have volunteers around who can see you. I hope that you'll be willing to give tonight. Later on this evening, we have the live auction not long after we're done here. But I want to ask you for some money. I want you to help us fight for product safety. Help us to save lives we don't even know about. Thank you for being here. Has anyone got $2,500 for us? Can we have a donation? $2,500. About $200 a month. Easy peasy. Do we have a donation for $2,500? I can't see out there. Somebody help me. Thank you. I can't see your number. Can you call it out? Oh, good. That's great. Can I take this off? No. Thank you. Now, oh, I can see you now. $2,500. Anyone else in at that spectacular level, which is a huge help to us? Some good-looking fellow back in the back. Thank you very much. $2,500. Anyone else in at $2,500? Who will make a grand gesture tonight? $1,000. $1,000 to help kids in danger. Thank you over there. Thank you. $1,000? Somebody else? Thank you very much. How about a little applause just to help us out? Way in the back, another $1,000. Thank you very much. It's a huge help. Help us to fight. $1,000. $1,000. Anyone? Thank you again. $250. $250. Can someone come in and help us with $250? Right there in front, 286. Thank you. Back there, 2 something something. Please get that. Right there, 250. Thank you. Jonathan Hughes, best-selling author. Thank you, Jonathan. Some more 250s. Thank you, Tony Green, Lisa King, appreciate it. You're my best friends. I've got an award for you. It's called Scotch. We'll have it later. $250 right here in front. Thank you very much. 180, we appreciate it. Right there, down the middle, 250. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Anyone else at 250? Right there, 111. Thank you. $250 almost gets Nancy Cowles her plane ticket down to D.C. so she can speak truth to idiots. She's leaving 6 a.m. tomorrow to testify at the CPSC. Nancy, you're a huge inspiration. $250. Anybody? How about 100? It's not even $10 a month. $100. Anyone? Can I count on somebody for $100? There's 187. Thank you very much. Can you believe how cheery I am? Do you see all the math I'm doing up here? $100, $10 a month. Back there, thank you. 243. Somebody, we got him. Thank you very much. Someone back in the corner. Get them. Thanks very much. Thanks. I hand it back to Dawn.
Thank you so much, everybody. Nicole, you are an amazing person. I can't even begin to thank you so much for being here. It's incredible that you were here tonight. So I would like everybody to just take a moment, regroup. That was a lot. It was heavy, and it's a lot. But have a drink, and we're going to give you like 10 or 15 minutes to unwind, and then Amy and I are going to do the live auction. So everybody enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you back here shortly.